Alright, I already did one lap today, but I hit my camera and I think I messed up the angle, so basically just want to give you guys a preview of my extreme loop for training. But I think I messed it up the first time. We'll go for round two. And right in the rocks, right off the top. Had a little bit of a bobble right there. Anyways, I just want to give you guys a heads up. This will be my first attempt at trying to do some commentary throughout one of my videos, so bear with me. My first attempt here, but hopefully it kind of helps give you guys a little bit of insight of what's going on through some of my riding. You can really hear the bike lugging down low right there. A lot of this stuff I'm trying to stay in second gear just so, you know, it's actually a little bit trickier to do, but at the end of the day you kind of prevent the wheel spin with first gear. You kind of just spin out real quick, higher RPMs on the motor, whereas it's definitely tricky coming through some of this stuff in second, but at the end of the day it'll make life a little easier. I got hung up pretty bad right here. Haven't really ridden this spot since before my knee injury, so a lot of leaves came down throughout winter, and one of my buddies is up on the hill there, so he's struggling his way through it already as well. Keeping hearing myself breathing a little bit there for a second, but this spot right here is pretty cool. It's going to like a little goat path, and every time you come through here, more shale and rock kind of falls down the hill, so it's pretty loose, to be honest. And this is actually, you know, obviously a lot steeper than it looks on camera, but pretty fun sliding down that spot. This zone I've been riding the last over a year now, and just adding more and more every time I go out and do an extreme loop, so it's pretty tough. Really fun that the owner, the private populace, can come out and play with him, and he's stoked on it. He's always trying new things as well, so I think that's kind of what I enjoy about this kind of stuff, is just like kind of the adventure aspect and seeing what's actually capable and what you can do. So that's kind of the first little extreme loop I have, and there's the main trail throughout the property, so I kind of go in and out of, you know, a little bit of faster paced stuff and the really tight technical things. There's nothing too big or dangerous here, but it's so difficult because there's so much moss and moisture in the ground. It's really slick, and I think that's why, you know, for being a California guy, I kind of have an advantage in some of these slicker races like the Tennessee Knockout and stuff, just because I ride in a lot of damp areas back home, and I don't know, a little more comfortable in these types of situations. So it's, I think for me, training in these hard enduro type stuff, I've been doing a lot of loops where I kind of mix this faster, flowy stuff through with some hard stuff. And unfortunately, today when I was out kind of doing this loop, I ran out of memory card, and I also knocked my GoPro camera angle all messed up, so pretty much a quarter or more of the footage was really jacked up. So you don't get to see the whole loop, but definitely get to see quite a bit of how I practice. And you know, here we're coming into this next bit. This is kind of the, I guess, the second canyon I go up as part of my extreme loop. So kind of similar to the first one, not quite as steep in the beginning, and then it starts to get steeper as we go up. But everything's just, you know, like I said, really loose, leaves everywhere, no traction. But you know, I kind of am more of a fan of this really technical, loose, shaly stuff versus just sending yourself at a big ledge and a do or die type thing. That's the problem with some of these other zones. You know, if you go somewhere like Moab with just unbelievable amounts of traction, you have to almost get dangerous if you want to ride something extreme. Whereas here, you know, you can beat yourself against a wall riding the smallest, most technical, dumb things ever. Whew. This part right here is really cool to ride. I don't know what that is, but it's a huge hole in the ground. You wouldn't want to fall in there, let's be honest. And this is a really technical little climb. I've messed that up a lot. To your left is a massive cliff drop right back down to the creek where we started earlier. So you got to be on your toes here. It could be a little sketchy if you make the wrong turn, but I feel like I know my comfort zone. I've definitely taken quite a bit of other riders to this spot as well, and they're stoked on it as well. And you think about a little dangerous spots, but at the end of the day, you don't look down, right? It's that easy. So at this point here, this is kind of the first time I drop into the main creek. There's one little spot in the very beginning, of course, on my loop, but this honestly is kind of a seasonal spot. Like late in winter, the water could really be ripping down through here and you would submerge a bike. So it's kind of hit or miss on when I can actually ride up and down these nasty creeks here. And you can see I'm kind of just dancing and finding my way around it. Nothing really too crazy through all this, but like I said, everything's really slick. You got to pick your way apart through it, and I'm really kind of bouncing back and forth here between first and second gear. It's pretty tricky to keep your momentum going and not bobble and lose it here in the slippery creek. I don't know if some of you realize, but I have a little yellow screwdriver put in my ODI bar pad right now. That's because I'm still tinkering with suspension at this point, figuring out the new Sherco and carburetor. Pretty much all dialed now, but I have it on there just in case I want to mess with settings while I'm riding. But here we are back kind of on the main trail again to get a little bit of speed, try and clean out the goggles a little bit so they aren't fogged up. And I just added this section here. Last time I came out and rode, basically this is only my second time back riding again at this spot after having knee surgery, so added this little spot again. And like I said, I'm just trying to mix up the hard bits and a little bit faster stuff. And to be honest, even the fast stuff I have going on here, you can't really tell but there's leaves everywhere, but there's rocks everywhere. It's really hard to actually fully push on this type of stuff, and to be honest, a lot of times I'm kind of out of breath and need to recover going through some of these technical bits. It's not too bad. It flows here pretty well. I think at this point I remember smacking my face on the bars a little bit right there, so I went on my face, the GoPro caught on the
forward a little too much
front brake line, so just kind of readjusting, making sure everything was in order, since earlier in the day I went out and lost a bunch of footage because I off my camera like an idiot. Didn't realize it. So at this point here, this is pretty much, I guess we'll call it the most northern tip of the property. So at this point I basically turn around and you can see a little entrance back on the main trail there, and weave my way back around between more extreme and the main trail again. So honestly, I started just by riding this main trail and going to the creek a little bit, and then I keep adding all these fingers that go in and out of the side canyons or up on the hill climbs, and kind of practice a little bit of everything. So now on the way back down, I'm on the other side of the creek and basically finding whatever I can to get stuck and struggle on.
This part is all new with logs and hidden rocks everywhere inside. The second.
Yeah, so this area right here is all completely new, and I felt like I needed to work on more kind of hillside type stuff. There's a lot of really nasty cambers at races like Erzberg and the Maniacs.
I made this trail. Don't want to do it again. Bunch of stupid sideways logs. Ah, fell again. Damn it.
Yeah, so just last time I rode here, I actually fell right before this on some angled logs and kind of jacked my wrist up a little bit. It was really stupid, but happens to the best of us.
This guy. Not made it too easy. Kind of ashamed I fell right there, to be honest.
Yeah, so basically did a 180 hairpin turn and back down a little bit to the next level and a little bit more cambering. The first time I rode through it, it was really loamy and sticks everywhere and super tricky. So now looking back at it after riding today and watching this footage, I want to definitely add some more steep cambers to this kind of loop I got. That way, just better practice at the end of the day, come race day.
There we go. Struggled there a little bit.
So we're coming up now to basically one of probably my favorite spot of the loop. You see that little elevated log there at an angle? There's kind of like a little kicker where that big tree fell to the left, so I kind of just pop and jump over that thing. It's not too difficult, but if you're not comfortable with it, it could be a little sketchy for sure. I guess it's somewhat of a splatter / trying to jump over it, and now I hop on a little bit of this faster stuff here for a second before basically going up and riding some more steep hillsides and struggling again. And it's honestly unfortunate you can't tell on camera here, but when I made this bit here, I mean, obviously I wanted to go up the hill as straight as I could, but it was so steep and loamy and loose that really all I could do is just side camber back and forth like that. And it's not ideal, but when the hill's super steep like that, it races like Maniacs, you can't go up straight. You just kind of pick your way apart back and forth and kind of do that foot plant turn. So you can make it up. This part right here is honestly really steep, and at the bottom, right before you hit kind of the G out, there's some sketchy big roots that scare me every time, and I just don't really think about it. Here, pop over a little thing, over a log, there's some slippery roots there on top of that tree, so I've definitely fallen there a couple times, and today I guess I got pretty lucky, and kind of drop it back into the side chute, right across the main creek. And right here we're going to make a quick right and basically kind of pop right into the main creek and funnel our way in and out of it here for a bit.
Kind of hate this part, but I left it here on purpose. So it sucks.
So this part here is super tricky when it's wet. Obviously, no one likes angled logs on a camber. Unfortunately, I ran out of data storage at that point. That was my second lap around on the track. And now basically I'm kind of cutting on to the first time I came through. This is, I don't know, quite a bit farther along in the loop. I don't know how long the loop takes exactly, but this whole video is almost 24 minutes, so probably a 30-minute lap, I'm guessing. But yeah, I messed up my camera the first time through, so I had to move a log out of the way to get up this steep embankment right here. So that's when I realized that I rode basically the whole first lap without being able to see anything, basically looking straight down at the seat, which for you guys is very interesting. And coming back down through here, it's another steep off camber, basically a go path I made from riding it and not really ever cutting a trail in.
That probably just messed my way up. Okay.
Yeah, my second time through there today, I was smart about it, and I knocked that thing out of the way, because ducking underneath that when you're 6'3" is no fun. I don't know what the deal is on the GoPros, but sometimes when you go up something real quick, you can't calibrate this noise sound or something, so it sounds kind of goofy. I think they would have figured something out by now, but you know, maybe one day. GoPro 9, that's their goals. So at this point now, basically I'm coming up on the, we'll call it the most southern tip of the property. So all in all, it's a pretty good sized piece of property, but you know, it's not huge. But at the end of the day, if you're weaving up and down and in and out of every canyon, all these hillsides. You know, it definitely adds up. And at this point here, basically coming up to my second favorite part of the course, pretty technical little roundabout line there. It's pretty good. Kind of loose jumbles through here, and then little waterfall section to the right there is really deep and would swallow a bike. So you don't want to go down there, but that spot right there is really cool, I think.
Oh, that's my turn. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier, it's been a little while since I've done this full loop, so you know, obviously I don't do it quite exact every time, but I try to, so that way if anyone else comes over, they can see the line. Obviously right here doesn't really look like there's any line available, but I guess I know where to go. That's all that matters, right? So some of you guys might recognize this spot right here from doing a video with Ryan Sipes for his Erzberg prep. I shot straight up that bank and steep bounced it for the moon and past Ryan right there. So it was definitely a cool video. A lot of people talked about it. It was pretty funny. The best part was it was his idea, and the off-roader guy that never jumped it. And this part right here is really sketchy little goat trail. I've splattered that line to the right a bunch, but I didn't feel like doing it today. I probably had a little bit of arm pump or something. It was my first lap through. So skirting the edge of the main creek here. I know what's coming up next, so I was in first gear through that really tight stuff, and then kind of getting back into second gear here to use some momentum to get up this little stupid chute. I hate this part, my least favorite part of the whole thing. I make it probably one every 4 tries. I don't know why I get stuck there every time. It's like a mental thing at this point. So, here we are basically starting over again another lap, but I'm not going to do the full lap this time for you guys because, obviously I actually did do it again later, but, ran out of data, knocked my camera down, basically screwed it all up for you guys, but that's a good preview of what I got going on.
So lap sucks. Slippery today.